I did not get a notification either, to be honest. Usually
Yeah.
I do.
Yep. Something's not going well with YouTube. Let me go and well, I think that'll be fine. Once I see things change, that's that's actually kind of bad too. I think now we're on a 5 seconds. There we go.
There we go, I see it.
All right, we are live. Brilliant. Uh, Not many people, but like we had just said, you and I weren't notified, so odds are a lot of people were not notified, sadly. But that's all right. They'll filter in. It's not unusual. What's going on, Creepy Cody?
Hey,
Okay,
Cody. Hi.
I'm gonna
Thanks for
go.
coming.
Yeah, I'm gonna go set an alarm on my phone because even though YouTube doesn't notify me, I will notify myself. All right. Okay. Welcome to Tuesday, May 3rd. Today this was one of the craziest mornings I've had in such a long time. Um, so I'm just gonna go and put this out there, like period. Oh, I now I'm notified. Not even kidding. It just popped up. Thank you for
Nice.
notifying me after the fact. It's like when people signal when they're driving after they make the turn. It's like thank you. That was brilliant. Signaling after you've done the thing you did. I know you turned. I was there for it. Anyway, um, the whole world is like going crazy again, and personally, now like I don't want to. We're not starting arguments with anybody here. I personally don't think that state line should determine whether or not a person is able to receive a medical procedure. That is where I stand on this.
Hmm.
However, um, I've been around the block before, and I know full well that well, I shouldn't say I know. This smells incredibly like a manufactured crisis. Now, why would someone manufacture this sort of crisis? Well, if you wanted to go and remove some checks and balances, like the filibuster, or if you had intentions of stacking the court, you would need to create the crisis that would get people on your side to allow you to do these things. I watched the government uh, use 9/11 to create the TSA, and then there was the Patriot Act, and oh no, these things are temporary. And here we are. My son is 13. He wasn't there for 9/11. We still have all of these things are all still in play. So
Hmm.
I've watched it enough. I've seen it enough. If you feel very passionately about this, and I'm not saying that anybody shouldn't, uh, that passion needs to be directed at the elite in Washington because yelling at your neighbor is not going to fix this at all. Your neighbor has no power. In fact, this is a problem created by government. Um, the irony that I've made this problem, but if you give me more power, we'll fix it. The government's not going to fix this problem. Essentially, what it comes down to is if you don't fix this, we're going to vote other people in. That's how you fix this for real. Not let me give you emergency powers that you will never relinquish. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
let's go and remember that everybody that you talk to, unless this person has some kind of influence, power, or a ridiculous sum of money, this person is 100% not your enemy. They are your brother, your sister. Your enemies
Hmm.
are in Washington. Let's direct all that bad energy needs to be directed over there, but not in a way that will allow them any quote unquote emergency power. Okay. Um, Also, I mean, we were all there for 2 weeks to flatten the curve. Saw how that one went.
Hmm.
Whether you agree
Yeah.
with 2 weeks to flatten the curve or not, that's fine. You know what I mean? I got no ideas about that, no qualms with it. But let's remember that whether you think it was a good thing or a bad thing, we were promised 2 weeks, and it ended up being far longer. Some people act like I don't know where I'm at. Things are pretty normal, but some people act like where they're at, they're still locked down. I don't know if that exists
Hmm.
anywhere. It doesn't happen where I'm at. If it happens where you are, then you would know because then it's 2 years at that point. Um,
Right.
so I just want to get that out the way in case people are coming here and they have these bad, painful feelings inside of them. Don't want to have those. Okay. Um, Having said that, we have the wonderful Danie Dreadful on today. Danie, how are you doing?
Hello, I am doing very well. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm having a good time. And I don't remember Paige Turner, yeah?
Yeah,
Tell
Paige
us
Turner.
tell
She
us
was
about
one.
what's about yeah, tell us what's gonna happen.
Sure. All right. So today I am going to narrate a classic story called The Night the Ghost Got In. It's by James Thurber, but it was adapted by Paige Turner, just so it's a little bit easier for myself to narrate and for the listener to actually know what I'm saying because Old English is a little bit difficult. So I will be narrating that. It's about a 7 to 8 minute read. And then after that, I guess we can just chat for a little bit, and then I have to go back to my day job.
Yep, sounds good. I do have an alarm set, so when that alarm goes off, everybody panic immediately, lose all of your senses. While she is doing that, I'm gonna go and actually every now and then I have some downtime, and what I'll do is I'll create horror scenes that I end up using in later videos. And so today I was like, you know what, a creepy hospital hallway would be cool to have one. So I'm gonna start working on one of those now. These are some reference images I have here, and yeah. So let's get to it.
Very cool.
I'm
Are you
gonna
ready
mute.
for me to start
I
narrating?
am 100% ready. I'm gonna mute my mic so that way like clicks and whatnot don't come through. That would be bad.
Cool.
All right, and I'll come back when you are done.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and start then. The ghost that got into our house on the night of November 17th, 1915, caused a horrible mess. I should have just kept walking and went to bed. Its presence caused my mother to throw a shoe through the neighbor's window and ended with my grandfather shooting a policeman. I regret ever stopping to pay attention to the footsteps. They began around 1:15 a.m., walking around the dining room table at a quick but steady pace. My mother and my brother Herman were asleep upstairs. Grandfather was in the attic, in the old walnut bed that once fell on my father. I was drying off after a bath when I heard the steps. It sounded like a man was running around the dining room table downstairs. The light from the bathroom was shining down the back steps, directly into the dining room. I could see the faint shine of plates on the shelf and table. The steps continued to circle, and a board creaked at irregular intervals when stepped on. At first, I thought it was my father or my brother. They had gone to Indianapolis, but were expected home at any time. Next, I suspected it was a burglar. It was not until later that I realized it was a ghost. After the walking had continued for roughly 3 minutes, I tiptoed to Herman's room. Psst, I hissed in the dark, shaking him. He said in the low, hopeless tone of a beagle. He was always paranoid that something would get him in the night. I told him who I was and said, "There's something downstairs." He got up and followed me back to the staircase. We listened together, but there was no sound. The steps had stopped. Herman looked at me with surprise. I was only wearing a bath towel around my waist. He wanted to return to bed, but I grabbed his arm. "There's something down there," I said. Instantly, the steps began again. It sounded like a man was running around the dining room table, but then they rushed towards us, taking the stairs two at a time. The pale light still shining down the stairs, but we saw nothing. We only heard the steps. Herman rushed to his room and slammed the door. I slammed the door at the top of the stairs and held my knee against it. After a long moment, I slowly opened it again. Nothing was there. All was quiet. None of us ever heard the ghost again. The slamming doors woke my mother, and she peeked out of her room. "What on earth are you boys doing?" she demanded. Herman came out of his room. "Nothing," he said gruffly. "What was all that running around downstairs?" Mother asked. She had heard the steps too. We only looked at her. "Burglars!" she shouted. I tried to calm her down by excuse me. I tried to calm her by starting downstairs. "Come on, Herman," I said. "I'll stay with Mother. She's all excited," he said. I stepped back onto the landing. "Both of you are staying right there," Mother said. "We'll call the police." Since the phone was downstairs, I didn't see how we were going to make a call, nor did I want the police. But Mother made one of her quick, uncompromising decisions. She flung open her bedroom window and threw a shoe through the neighbor's window. Glass fell into the bedroom of a retired engraver named Bodwell and his wife. Bodwell had been rather ill for some years and was prone to mild attacks. Most everybody we knew or lived near had some kind of attack. It was now 2 a.m. on a moonless night, and black clouds hung low in the sky. Bodwell was at the bo- Bodwell was at the window in an instant, shouting and shaking his fist. "We'll sell the house and go back to Peoria," we could hear Mrs. Bodwell say. It was some time before Mother got through to Bodwell. "Burglars!" she shouted. "Burglars in the house!" Herman and I hadn't dared tell her differently. She was even more afraid of ghosts than burglars. At first, Bodwell thought she meant there were burglars in his house, but finally he calmed down and called the police for us. After he disappeared from the window, Mother suddenly tried to throw another shoe, but I stopped her. It was not because of necessity, but because she greatly enjoyed the thrill of breaking glass. The police arrived in an impressively short time. There was a Ford sedan full of them, 2 on motorcycles, and a patrol wagon with 8 more, plus a few reporters. They banged on our front door and flashlights searched over the walls, across our yard and between the houses. "Open up!" cried a hoarse voice. "We're from headquarters." I wanted to go down and let them in, but Mother wouldn't hear of it. "You're naked," she pointed out. "You'd catch your death." I wound the towel around me again. Finally, the cops put their shoulders to our big, heavy door. Finally, the cops put their shoulders to our big, heavy door with its thick windows and broke in. I could hear wood breaking and a splash of glass on the floor. Their lights danced all over the living room and dining room, stabbed into hallways, and shot up both flights of stairs. They caught me standing in the towel at the top. A heavy policeman ran up the stairs. "Who are you?" he demanded. "I live here," I said. "Well, what's the matter? Are you hot?" he asked. As a matter of fact, it was cold. I went to my room and put on some pants. On my way out, a cop stuck a gun into my ribs. "What are you doing here?" he demanded. "I live here," I said again. The officer in charge reported to Mother. "No sign of nobody, lady. He must have gotten away. What'd he look like?" There were 2 or 3 of them, whooping and hollering and slamming doors, Mother said. "Funny, all your windows and doors were locked tight," the cop said. Downstairs we could hear the other officers stomping around. They were all over the place. Doors and drawers were yanked open, windows were thrown up, and fell with dull heart. Furniture fell with dull thuds. A half-dozen policemen emerged from the darkness of the front upstairs hallway. They began to ransack everything. Beds were pulled away from walls, clothes were torn off hooks, and boxes were pulled from shelves. One of them found an old harp that Roy won in a pool tournament. "Looky here, Joe," he said, strumming it with a big paw. The cop named Joe took it and turned it over. "What is this?" he asked me. It's an old harp that our guinea pig used to sleep on," I said. It was true, the guinea pig never slept anywhere else, but I should have never said so. Joe and the other cop looked at me long before putting the harp back. "No sign of nothing," the cop who first spoke with Mother explained to the others. "This guy," he pointed at me, "was naked, and the lady, she seems hysterical." They all nodded but said nothing. They just stared at me. In the silence we all heard a creaking from the attic. Grandfather was rolling over in bed. "What's that?" Joe snapped. 5 or 6 cops sprang for the attic door before I could intervene or explain. I realized it wouldn't be bad if they bust into Grandfather's door. He was going through a phase where he believed General Meade's men were under fire by Stonewall Jackson, and they were beginning to desert. When I got to the attic, things were pretty chaotic. Evidently, grandfather assumed the police were deserters from Meade's army trying to hide away in his attic. He leapt out of bed wearing a long flannel nightgown over woolen underwear, a nightcap, and a leather jacket around his chest. The cops must have immediately realized the angry white-haired old man belonged in the house, but they had no chance to say so. Back, you cowardly dogs, grandfather roared. Back to the lines, you goddamn lily-livered cattle. With that, he gave the officer who found the harp a flat-handed slap upside his head that sent him sprawling. The others retreated, but not fast enough. Grandfather grabbed the first cop's gun and fired. The bang seemed to crack the rafters and smoke filled the attic. A cop cursed and slapped his hand to his A cop cursed and slapped his hand to his shoulder. Somehow, we all finally got downstairs again and locked the door against the old man. He fired once or twice more, and then returned to bed. That was grandfather, I explained to Joe. He thinks you're deserters. I'll say he does, Joe said. The cops were reluctant to leave without getting their hands on somebody besides grandfather. Their night had been a distinct defeat. Furthermore, they obviously didn't like how the situation ended. I can see their point when they said something seemed fishy. They resumed their search and a thin-faced reporter approached me. When I could not find a shirt to wear, I put on one of Mother's blouses. The reporter looked at me with a mixture of suspicion and interest. Just what the hell is really going on here, bud? I decided to be frank with him. We had a ghost. He gazed at me for a long time, as if I were a slot machine he lost a nickel to. Then he walked away. The cops followed him. The one grandfather shot was holding his bandaged arm, cursing. I'm gonna get my gun back from that old bird. Yeah, Joe said. You and who else? I told them that I would bring it to the station house the next day. What was the matter with that one policeman? Mother asked after they were gone. Grandfather shot him, I said. What for? She demanded. I told her he was a deserter, of all things. He was such a nice-looking young man, Mother said. The next morning, grandfather was fresh as a daisy and full of jokes at breakfast. At first, we thought he had forgotten, but he hadn't. Over his third cup of coffee, he glared at Herman and I. What was with all them cops stopping around the house last night? He demanded. He had us there. And that is the completion of that. That was The Night the Ghost Got In by James Thurber and adapted by Page Turner.
That was slick. That was slick. That was awesome. See, that's why, like, I'd like to, and we'd briefly spoken about this before coming on. There's a lot of classics out there, and I'm not saying that new horror isn't punchier, and it definitely is. It's like because anyone that writes horror now has the benefit of observing horror that's already been written, so they kind of have an edge.
Exactly.
Uh,
Yeah,
but the
I
classics,
completely agree with
yeah,
that.
it's almost like drugs. You know, the medicine that we had way back when, but we have much more concentrated versions of it now. So that's freaking slick. I am going to take a break from this, but this is the start of my what was it? My hospital hallway, and
That's really cool.
yeah, it's coming along. It's coming along. Uh,
That's where the cop is gonna go. The one that just got shot by Grandpa, right?
yeah, right. Actually, I said that out loud, and I was like, good thing my mic was mute. I should not make jokes during readings. That would be inappropriate. So,
No, it's okay. I would have just laughed. It's totally fine.
all right. So, that being said, where is it? I have a folder up here that I named memes. And what I would like to do is I'm going to click on this. Look at that. And we have the picture within the picture, within the picture, within the picture, within the picture. Infinitely. We're going to go and have you read these. And maybe it makes you laugh. I don't know. It's possible. Just see what
Okay,
happens.
all
All
right.
right?
I'm
It's
in a
one.
giggly mood, so I'm sure I'm gonna laugh at least one or two of these.
All right. All right. Here we go.
Introvert getting ready to go to social event that can't be avoided anymore. Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
It's cute. Well, I guess I laughed, but it's super
Yeah.
cute.
It yes.
How introverts feel. Yeah, no. Yes, yes, I can relate.
I went with animals this time because I know we both have pets. So I was like, we're gonna go with
Yes,
the animals.
that makes it makes sense. My little kitty cats and my dog. Let's see. My overly dramatic cat when his war. Oh, that's so true. That's actually my cat Emmy.
Mm-hmm.
I fill up her bowl every single morning and afternoon, like late in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
But she will sit, like after she eats, she'll sit by the faucet and wait for me to turn it on because that's the only that's the only water she'll drink is out of the faucet.
They sell little cat fountains.
I know I had one for her and she wouldn't drink out of it.
No.
So weird. Yes.
Oh
I bought
goodness.
one for her as soon as I saw, but yeah, she's we call her she's the princess of dread in the house because I'm the queen of dread and she's our
Mm-hmm.
princess. So
Oh, going.
how dare you call me mentally unstable on this day of my cat's quinceanera? That was really funny.
For those that don't know, quinceanera is like a sweet 16, but at the age of 15 in Spanish
Yeah.
cultures. So this cat's ready to party.
Oh yeah, he looks or she looks like it. The therapy dog after I should have problem. My dog makes that face sometimes. It's so funny.
That's a classic one. I've seen this one like a bunch of times, but I can't. Every time I see it, it's like this is one of the most perfect memes ever made.
It is. Oh, that looks like Emmy. For real, why are you always home? Do you think I like having you around? Because I don't. Oh, that looks like my cat Emmy, but she's the opposite. She loves having me home.
Cats are fun. Cats are like that. Some cats are like that.
Yeah,
Where they're not.
yeah. I mean, they definitely have their days where they're just like, leave me alone. But when you know he didn't throw the ball, but you look anyways. Why are you like this? Cute.
Oh
Looks
man.
like the dog's Shadow from Homeward Bound. Do you remember
Yes.
that movie?
Oh my gosh. Of
Okay.
course. That's the movie that we all cried at.
Oh yeah,
Everybody.
definitely.
All of us cried at it. Give me a moment. I'm gonna go and hit save here because this is coming along
Okay.
pretty good. But I know that we're running out the sand, so I did. Current project. I'd like to save. No, I don't want to save. I just did this. That's what I just did. You were there for that. But you told
Oh,
me.
good night, BD. BD is leaving the chat.
Oh,
Good night.
farewell, my friend.
I
Australia.
like just pulled up the chat.
I have
I
to.
wasn't like really paying attention. I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, don't even worry about it. You were reading. I should be feeling sorry, but I was too busy putting that exit sign exactly where I wanted it and making the windows glow.
I mean, it looks perfect. So
Now I have guilt
good
in my
job.
heart. It does. It looks a little too perfect though. I gotta put some crap on the floor. Like it's gotta look. I gotta make it dirty.
Y-
But it's very
Yeah,
symmetrical right
definitely.
now.
Very cool looking though.
So look at this, everybody. It's Danie Dreadful, and there goes her puppy Anakin.
And then my two cats, but they're dogs. Oh my god,
Yeah, he. It's
that's
well, he's small, so I don't wanna.
oh my goodness, that's hilarious.
Yeah, there's these bad dogs over here. See, this is actually why this is why I learned how to animate. I'm not even kidding. Like it's like, what are you doing? Well, I'm just playing around. I got these dogs over here and chase you guys. But
That's awesome.
Yeah, but we have. Banana. Where is he? There we go. It's okay because Karate Deadpool. Here he is. Danie told me that she likes Ryan Reynolds, so I was like, "Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome."
Yes.
So we're gonna have Deadpool stand between you and the dogs, and Deadpool's gonna be played by Mr. Dreadful. You know, so that way there's no funny
Okay.
business. Mr. Dreadful is playing as Deadpool, and yeah, is that where did? Oh, here we go. There we go. And just in case things still go poorly, we've got Don Knotts. No need to worry, everybody. Don Knotts, he'll save everybody, and it's got the Getty Images logo on it because I wasn't gonna pay for it to make a crappy Don Knotts joke. So, wow, where are all those lights at? Hang on, these are
great.
all the street lights. Yeah, this set took a very long time for me to build. So, and
Well, I
that right
appreciate you
there.
like having some guys come and save us at least, you
Yeah,
know.
well, I
You didn't
couldn't
just be
have you
an
just
enemy.
get eaten, and I didn't know if
Yeah.
Mr. Dreadful was like really good at karate. I mean, he's Deadpool in this situation, but just in case, I can glue Don Knotts to his face, and then at that point, he will have all the attributes of Don Knotts, making him probably one of the most powerful people on the planet. If that, you know,
Sounds great.
yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
So you can let Mr. Dreadful know you were on TV today, and someone went and pasted your picture, and Anakin was there, and he was dressed as Deadpool, and sometimes Don Knotts.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wonder if he's watching actually.
Oh
He
no!
might be watching. No, that's fine. That's good.
um,
I'm not sure. He might be working. I'm not sure.
oh goodness, I hope he is working. Don Knotts
So,
with the strength of Don Knotts. I don't know. I love Don Knotts. Classics, always classics.
oh
So,
yeah,
thank you
absolutely.
so much for coming on for the first time of me doing this. I think this went moderately well. I'm sure the format will improve as time progresses, but for right now, that went better than I thought it would because I have roughly a 50% success rate when I do things for the first time. So this came out better than 50% in my opinion. And
I would say that too because I was very like, oh man, I've never, like I said, I've never really like read live before. I did it once on my Instagram, like my Instagram live. That was a really long time ago,
mm-hmm.
and I was like, oh man, I hope I don't screw up too badly. But I
Yeah,
think I did
no,
moderately okay. We'll
you
say
did
50%.
just
We'll say
fine.
50%.
Yeah, you did just fine. Now, I mean, maybe we have just a little bit of time in case does anybody have any questions for Danie Dreadful. Danie Dreadful has her own YouTube channel. Of course, if you click on the in the title of this video that symbol there, it should take you directly to her channel. And the reason why she was invited today is when I'm animating. I sometimes, if I'm not like cleaning audio or something like that, I will listen to other narrators, and I got to hear her do a Telltale Heart, and I was like, I love the classics. I need to have her on to read something classic. That'd be excellent. So if you enjoy classic horror stories, not that you wouldn't, you don't have to pick. You can have all the horror, right? You can eat the classic and the
Yeah,
new at the same time if you like.
yeah.
But I personally would recommend checking out your your reading of the Telltale Heart, and it's also adapted, which is great. I don't know if it's been advertised, but I did the Monkey's Paw, and I did adapt it because it's true. Old English can be difficult, and we want to make
Yeah.
sure we want to make things available for as many people as possible. So by adapting, we're able to kind of bridge that gap. Now, having said that, do we have any questions? We don't. Don Knotts catching speeders on the way to Mount Pilot. So we have a question for Don Knotts, but Mr. Dreadful's only listening, maybe, so... Huh. Yeah, while you were reading, I actually have you in here too, I think. But I forgot, because the thing is, when you create something like this, you want to make sure it's done to scale. And I was like, if I whip this out right while you're reading, and then you crack, Like, why why am I on the TV right now? And I was like, oh, I probably should have done that beforehand. So make sure all the doors and stuff. So I had to go and find the nurse to make sure everything was to scale. But
Awesome.
thank you so much for coming on. Have an excellent day at work. Hopefully,
Yes.
I can have you on again at some point. I'm thinking around Halloween, what I'm going to do is I'm going to string together like a bunch of these and kind of make an unofficial compilation. You know what I mean? Like from
Oh, that's
for,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I only know, I don't know, like maybe 10 narrators. so,
Oh,
so maybe we.
I can help you there. I can totally help you there. I know at least 40 of them. So
Oh, excellent. There we
we
go.
we know we know all the narrators. But yeah, that would be amazing. Thank you so much for having me on. And Halloween is literally my favorite holiday. I try to do something big for my channel. Last year I did 13 nights of Halloween where it was 13 videos for 13 nights.
Oh,
So I was yeah, I originally said I'm going to do 31 nights of Halloween, and then, I got to no, that it was a lot.
it
So
really is.
we
And I tell you the truth, the thing with Halloween is that Mr. Nightmare and a lot of the bigger creators they go into
Mhm.
overdrive because it's a really
Yes.
big moneymaker time of year. So it's actually the competition is really heavy around
Yeah,
Halloween.
absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I know a couple of narrators that will literally they'll take off October. They're like, listen, like I know there's gonna be content for you guys. I know there's content for you guys.
Yeah, yeah.
You guys are fine. I'll be back
Uh,
November 1st. It's like, dang.
Yeah. No, I'll definitely do something, just not as aggressive, probably just like some classic, like super scary ones that I have to find. But yeah, I would love to be back on your channel whenever you'll have me, and I really appreciate you having me on today.
Well, I was gonna invite you for week 11 because I only know 10, but now I have 50, so you can come back next year. If I take my 10 and add your 40, well, I'll see you. I'll see you in
Should
2023.
have I shouldn't have said anything,
When
so
I
I'm
said
just kidding.
40, I meant 4. Sometimes I add zeros because they don't matter. You know what I mean? The zero's not important. We're taught that in math. It was an accident.
Right.
No, we'll have you on before then. It'll be 100% fine. I don't even know. Like I said, I've got a couple of different ideas, and we're gonna get a good mix of people on. Male, female narrators, and but I think me, you, and oh, what's his name now? My friend. Well, either way, whatever his name is, not next. I could just call him my friend too. Whatever that guy's name is, we're the only. I think we're the only Hispanic narrators I know about. Which I mean,
Oh.
it's not like a major
Mhm.
thing, but
Hair
not
raising narratives? Is that who you're talking about?
no. But I should have just
Oh,
asked you
okay.
for the names of the Spanish ones because you probably would know,
I
because
Yeah, I
because
know
you
a
know all the
few.
narrators.
I know all four
You know
narrators, all
four.
four of them. But
Oh gosh.
no, but hair raising, he does a lot of um he does like, I'm gonna butcher this, but the chupacabra, he does stories about that. And
No. Does he
yeah,
speak
he
with an
does
accent?
a little bit. Yeah, he has a slight accent. I
Oh.
actually met him in person because we're both in the Texas area,
Mm-hmm.
and we met up at an Oddities and Curiosities Expo, and it was really fun. He's really cool.
That's
But you should
cool.
check him out too.
Yeah. Oh,
Hmm.
Gamma, that's his name. Gamma. So Gamma
Oh,
speaks with a
Gamma.
heavier accent, and one of the things I told him was I wanted to do a skit with a chupacabra, and I was like, listen, if we do this, like I need you to voice him, like I need that rich accent. And he's like, well,
Yeah.
what would it be like? And I was like, well, like he'll be stealing a car, and my character is gonna be a volunteer cop, and then someone will yell he's Spanish, so you can't arrest him. I get punched in the face, and then at the end it's like, yeah, me too, man. You just try to get creamed for no reason. Yeah, or do something else that's like some stereotypical thing. I can say those things because my mom's from Central America and my dad's Puerto Rican, so it's like I'm allowed to do anything I want to do.
There you go.
But yeah, that was my plan. Anyway, Danie, thank you so much for coming on today. I will
Thank
see you.
you.
Yeah. We don't have any
Yeah, I'll see
questions.
you.
Everybody knows everything already, and they all know.
They do. I mean, if they follow me on Instagram, they probably know my entire life because I post a lot on there. So, but if not, then go follow me on Instagram. And I
It
tell stories on there sometimes.
Are your links to Instagram available on your page, on your channel?
They're not, but it's just Danie.Dreadful. So if you just type in Danie Dreadful, it should come up.
Okay, right on.
Cool. Well, I hope you have a great rest of your day and stay spooky, my lovelies.
Right on. Okay, so that was. Let me go and confirm that she's gone. All right, guys, we're alone. Now that she's not here, we can talk about her behind her back. Because she can't be in the stream. That would be impossible. No, we're not going to do that. That would be ridiculous. I tell you what. I was going to go and kind of like waffle a little bit while building this. I mean, do you guys having a good time watching me create this? If you're not, that's fine. Don't even worry about it because we can cut it short here. I will tell you next week we're going to have Mike the Naked Bigfoot. If you do not know who Mike the Naked Bigfoot is, Mike the Naked Bigfoot is, this is probably a really stupid way of describing him, but he's like a monster guy, like a monster encyclopedia. He was born and raised in the mountains and has lived an incredible life. I'll message him on Instagram, like with questions from time to time about things, and what are your thoughts on X, Y, and Z. So he has agreed to come on next week. This is very exciting because I hope he's not watching now, so we can catch him off guard. But I'm going to surprise him and press him on. Somebody in our comments on Super Horror Show asked the question. What was it? They asked if things like Sasquatch and these other cryptids could potentially be linked to the government. And I don't think that everything is linked to the government. That would be ridiculous. But if I was trying to disguise technology or some sort of weaponry, disguising it in a way that if someone went and I saw, like Bigfoot, I saw Bigfoot, putting it in a way, packaging it so it makes an observer look like they're crazy if they say anything, would be beneficial. So I do plan on pressing him about that. So if you have questions about cryptids, any cryptids, things that go bump in the night, I don't mean to be disrespectful. I don't know what the proper word is to reference a practitioner of voodoo, but I don't know, or a studier of voodoo. I don't. It's a realm that I don't personally belong to, but that is also in his area. Like that's something that he's qualified to tell us a little bit about. So, bring your questions. I would write them down. It is not. He goes live on his channel. He's been doing it a lot more lately, but for a while, like he put out 3 videos and then he was gone for a year. And then on top of that, when he's on his channel, he answers questions and stuff in the comments, but he's pretty focused. He's got a good idea of what he's talking about. Where I think him coming here, I think we would have a little more pull available. So that's just, like he probably has an idea, but we can steer the conversation to places, to things that you all might be curious about. So bring your questions. Witch Doctor Alvin and the Chipmunks did a song. I think that's an offensive term. I don't know. Oh man, can you play Witch Doctor anymore? I don't even know. I don't know what the rules are anymore, everybody. We live in this world that I wasn't raised in this world. I was raised like in New York, but the rules were so different. It's pretty much like a different planet. So it makes things nice and confusing for me now. So I think we're going to end it there. I know it's a little short. Normally we go for an hour on Tuesdays, but that's all right. Thank you all so much for coming. Take good care of yourselves, and I will once again reiterate, please remember, Your neighbors are good people. You know what I mean? Like, you guys need to look out for each other. The pain that's being caused and the pressure that you're experiencing is being put on by a very specific group of people, and they think that they are very skilled at shifting that blame to your neighbors. Uh, but this is really a fool me once, fool me twice situation here. You know, please don't be fooled. Please see where the pressure's coming from, because if you and your neighbors are good together, right? If everyone's holding hands, it's a lot harder to shake us up. All right? So take care of yourselves, and I will see you guys next week.